Hi, I'm Dr. Patty Gilbot from Mae Advocate Center. I'm excited to share our vision with you about the Haven of Grace. The Haven of Grace is a campus-like ranch where we can involve families who are going through a traumatic experience or a crisis situation. The idea is to bring families together and bring them to our campus where we can wrap services and care around them and send them home with an intense plan for how to remain stable, remain in a sustainable position for their family's dynamics. I'm excited about this project because there is no other project like it. The closest we've been able to find is modeled after Give Kids the World in Kissimmee, Florida. In Iowa, in the United States, around the world, it's no secret, right? Mental health has a lot of stigma, and it's also true that we can't find enough providers. There's not enough counselors, not enough psychiatrists. There's such a big need and so few providers to meet that need. And the market is so huge that until we really step back and take a look at being intentional and focused on what we're doing, until we start growing things, I don't know that we're going to make progress in meeting that demand. And then you add to it like the year of 2020, and you add to it all of the stress and the chaos and all of the disruption that's happening today. And that gets magnified. Mental health is getting magnified right now. It becomes more and more important to really sit back and take a look at what we're doing as a society, but more importantly, within our own homes. The concept of Haven of Grace is built around the idea that your home should be a haven for you. And a haven is where you go to get rest. And only when you're resting can your body recover from stress. So being at the haven is a lot like a stress recovery program. That's the best way to describe it. It's a place where you can find rest and get support and be involved in self-care routines that we're going to be making that part of your treatment plan. It's also a place where there's connection. Honestly, I think one of the things that adults in this society today are struggling with, the number one reason why people come to see me in their 30s, 40s, 50s is because they're lonely. They've lost their sense of connection to other adults or other people around them. The Haven of Grace is really about trying to reconnect. Connect you to your family, connect you to a support group, connect you to your friends, however that connection needs to happen. And we would take a look at that with you. What can we do about that? I think part of the Haven of Grace for me is just my love for people. It's hard for me to not want to help. I think that's my primary love language, is just to be in service to other people, to be a servant, and to be a person who cares genuinely at a committed level. I want to see people succeed. My favorite thing to do is to watch and grow someone, molding them into the vision that they have for themselves. Whether it's me as a supervisor for a student, or whether it's me as a coach and mentor for a new employee, whether it's being your friend and wanting to help you grow your own dream and find out what your passion is. It's exciting for me in the world of designing the Haven of Grace because it encapsulates all of those things. We will have interdisciplinary teams of students coming from all kinds of backgrounds. So we'll have business and media and management, nursing students, resident doctors. We'll have psychiatrists and social workers and mental health counselors, just a variety, occupational therapists, physical therapists. We want all of these interdisciplinary teams to come and provide services at the Haven of Grace with the intent of learning. So we'll have people that can direct them and supervise them, qualify them for their credentialing. But the intent is that we will be teaching people how to work with our most vulnerable population. So the Haven of Grace for me is way more than just helping clients or helping communities. It's also about helping to grow qualified professionals in this area of expertise. And so we want to make sure that at the end of the day, at the end of the road, when we look back on this 50 years after being in operations, did we do what we intended to do? Well, the intention is to grow a field of qualified professionals who are very knowledgeable, and when they go out and they give back by supervising and mentoring, that they're carrying forward this vision and they grow their own mentees into qualified professionals in this field. So with the design of the Haven of Grace, it's the engineering students at the University of Wisconsin-Platteville is designing the building and making the campus-like design. And when they're finished with that, we'll be able to use that design to kind of talk more about the vision that we have involved with all the different facility amenities that are able to, people will be able to enjoy those. The idea is that we would be able to grow our own food, that we would have our own energy source, that we'd be able to provide recreational opportunities, and even meet our cultural and spiritual needs. We hope that we would also have a training complex there where we'd be able to provide state-of-the-art, culturally competent training, and we would be able to provide that space and facility for other companies or institutions of learning to come in and use our facilities. One of the things that we talked about in the Haven of Grace is that it would be a place where once you're a Haven family, you're always a Haven family. So you may not be able to come back and stay, but you could come back and visit at any time. We have components within the Haven of Grace that are in memory of or in honor of, and one of those is the Noah's Playground, which is in memory of Noah Onderchek. We also have some really special aspects. We plan to have Grace's Butterfly Garden. So Grace's Garden is designed specifically around the idea of plants and bushes and things that would draw in butterflies into the garden. And that's just really kind of to honor her struggle, her right to thrive. So Grace has been through a lot herself, not only with her physical and medical conditions, but also her mental health battle. Grace has been suicidal in the past, and she has lived through some really hard times, especially with peer abuse. In junior high school, she really struggled with peer relationships, and that was really hard for her. So we wanted to honor her transformation. She's really kind of come out of her metamorphosis, so to speak. So we really see her growing and changing and becoming something quite beautiful. And I don't know that it would be necessary to have to struggle so hard to become who she is, but becoming who she is because of that struggle has been a beautiful transformation to watch. When we think about the Haven of Grace as this big overarching project, it's a huge vision, it's a huge undertaking, but it's necessary. Where we are today in our society, it has become so critically necessary that we just can't afford to wait.